Welcome, welcome. Um, yeah, so yesterday we were working. Oh, I need coffee already. But yesterday we were working on getting rooms rendering, and we found kind of the stuff that renders it, and there's a lot of it. Um, there's a few parts that seem clearly broken, but I want to reorganize things so that I can understand what the intent is. Um, yeah. Like I remember this was only sometimes assigned to. Uh, so we're using is the vertex buffer uh, 0 or not as like the flag for are the rest of these buffers 0 or not. But if we look, uh, when we set vertex data here, yeah, before it was like there was extra bailouts where we didn't append vertices or we didn't, set these buffers up, right? Um, it's like if len of p is greater than 3. Like we know len of p is greater than 3, unless for some reason we clip it. Because the verts, there's 4 of them, so the polygon should be of length 4. So it should be like if len of p less than 3, panic. Otherwise we're going to be leaking stuff. But yeah, we're going to have to lean on the TDD effort of like, we have our tests. If our tests pass, we're happy. If we don't, then that's what we fix. And kind of realize that it's already broken. We can't break it any. We don't have to worry about breaking it more. But yeah, like all the assignments to GL IDs, all these like buffer binds. Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah. Okay, I remember now. I did replace one of this for panic, but it turns out this code is like copy pasted. So the right wall looks a lot like the left wall, looks a lot like the floor. So we need to dry that out. What's our to-do say? Really, we need to refactor. What is it? Room. Like floor, room, wall, door, rendering. To be testable. Like, right now it's just not. We have to run the whole thing, and there's no little piece we can carve out and make sure is working. But I gotta get coffee. See, I can't even type. That's why I need coffee. Alright, be right back. You're back. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting sick, so my voice is going to be in and out today. You're going to need a lot of that. But we'll power through. Alright. So, we were working on a patch that captured this, like, caching that they were doing. Yeah. So it used to look like... Is there It's like diff tool to like see common diff tools. Access the same one. Yes. What? Vim diff. Okay. Yes. So this is a little bit easier sometimes to look at. In terms of like understanding what happened. So like the old version is this and the new version is this. And so in the old version we didn't have any lines here, but in the new version we have a get wall texture state. And you can kind of see that this code is basically that code that got moved. But yeah. Then we changed the indentation here. We extracted this helper for lifting up GL operations. Is there a way to... Oh, this is so gross. Because, like, I want to say, like, align... this with... Or even... Oh, what is this? Yeah, align this line. Is that a thing? Oh yeah, and CI's red. Vim diff align override alignment. Vim diff change context match. No. Vim diff edit associations. Vim diff change honk matches. Nope. I think this is relevant here. What's my diff opt? Interner filler close off. And then context blah 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 blah. Well, I guess vim diff isn't making the diff, it's just reading the diff it gets. So then, oh yeah, we have changes in other files too. Alright, let's get back to this. This is just so much easier to read. Okay. What do we change into do? Oh yeah. Let's not lose that. Docs. What do we change in wall texture? Ugh. The thing is, everything's in the house package, and so whether it's exported fields or not, these this like vbuffer is accessible. So it's hard to really encapsulate it. I guess we can do something like look at all the references to it, and then if it's not a member function, refactor it. I kind of like that actually. Alright, smaller changes, better changes. So git add patch that one. No, no. I saw some comments I added. Yeah, those are comment fixes. Fix some copy pasted comments. I need happier stuff right now. Alright. And then yeah, this whole like sometimes set things, sometimes don't has to go away. Need what are they called? GLIDs. Need proper encapsulation on GLID holding structs. And need to dry out it was like in room.co there was that copy pasted stuff, I believe. Or was it in wall texture? Yeah, I think it was in wall texture. Wall texture rent setup GL stuff. Floor There's a lot of dupe between floor, left wall, right wall. And then, what's the other thing? Oh yeah. Need to panic on problems in wall texture render instead of not setting things. The other thing we need to do is look into why the CI is red. It was a mismatch between cobweb rendered and the screenshot we took. Let's finish this refactor. Let's finish, like, save our work here, and then green up CI. Leaving CI red is usually very, very bad, in that you end up introducing more and more problems that you didn't realize, and they get older and older in terms of when you worked on them, so it's harder and harder to fix. So, to do commit docs more notes. Okay, so house wall texture. Where are we using flumped? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I guess sanity would be draining here, because it's a slice that we append to a bunch of times. Probably, right? Like, the real problem is that this needs to panic if it's not working. Alright, so let's make that change. If we're gonna make that change, let's leave this in here for now to do can make each check for when p greater equals 3 panic on failure instead of silently ignoring that we clipped off a wall texture. Or do we? Like, if we clip off all the wall textures, then oh, that's a snowplow out there. I was like, I don't remember that in this song. Yeah, so like I think they're doing this because it could be that the texture you're rendering is in a room that's like way off screen, and so if it clips out, then yeah, we don't need to deal with the geometry for now. But that's totally messed up because, like, whether it's off screen or not, you're gonna have to send the geometry when it is on screen. So unless you're sending the geometry every frame, why would... It's like a one-off, right? Would you not have to recompute this if like X and Y change? I think the answer is yes. Right? If the new state's X and Y and the room's X. Well, I guess this is model coordinates, not view coordinates, right? So if you are in the level editor and you move a room around, that's when you'll have to recompute this, which is fine. Okay. But I mean, that's all just supposition. I really don't know. It's really hard to read this diff. Walls. Like, anyways. I'm trying to think if there's a good way to do this. So I see a bunch of small changes all mixed mashed together. If I have like a whip commit that has all the changes and then revert back to its parent, I can apply piecemeal these conceptual changes until we look like the whip commit. Let's do that. Okay. Check out a new branch to refactor whip. Add house room and house wall texture go. Commit whip. And then if we look at our history here, we'll check out main again. We'll do a diff with refactor whip. What do we need to do to make head look like refactor whip? We need to add get wall texture state, right? And we need to move this to here. So I think one of the things we're going to do is just this thing. We don't need to check that the wall texture GL map was nil or not every time through the loop. We just don't. So let's do that. Let's make test. T. Might unalias. I kind of like that it prints out what it's doing. Okay, so that's a valid change. This is a refactor. Don't need to check the condition each time through the loop. Once will do. And then now there's divergence. We're gonna rebase on top of main. And then here's like the honkin' thing. There's only one big diff. But yeah, so What is going on? I should just take the whip version. Take only remote changes. What am I looking at? I'm trying to rebase and rewrite the commit to just have a new parent. Right? Get rebase. Take theirs. Yes. The checkout flag. Yeah. Okay. So if I get checkout hours, house room go. What does it look like? Diff. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to diff with refactor whip. Yeah, like this is not. Theirs should look like the final thinger. Yeah. So if I get diff, refactor whip, house room, go, there shouldn't be any changes. Yeah. Okay. Whip. So test should still test. We can do this again. Alright, so check out main again. Diff with refactor whip. What's the next change we want to include? I actually like this version more than this version. So I'm going to change the refactor whip to look like that. Wait. Yeah, I like this better. I'm gonna commit, amend, no edit. I'm gonna have to rebase again. What? Oh. Rebase. Alright, the diff is this. Just make it look like it should. Syntax highlight. I was expecting to see if the buffer is 0. Oh, okay, that's what I'm looking at. Ugh. Oh. Don't know what I'm doing. Git checkout there's house room. Okay, we're on refactor whip. What does refactor whip look like? Render walls. Looks good to me. Alright. It is hard to think with a cold, but that's why we just take smaller steps. Okay. So what is another difference with the refactor whip? Get wall texture state is a thing, right? Git show refactor whip house room.go. So we're trying to move towards this, and we're at this. And one of the things we did was say, we don't need to do this logic in here. We do it in a helper. So let's get that helper. It's called get wall texture state. So what does this do? And is there a better name for it? We'll deal with that later. Right now I just need to make the working tree look more like the refactor whip. Okay. So, yes, we've changed that. Render walls starts with if room wall texture GL map nil, or room vertex. When we say IDs is room get wall texture state for the given wall texture. If for some reason we couldn't set up the thing, we continue to the next wall texture. This is test. Yes, it does. Alright. We're just moving that out. Okay, get add house room go. Commit I guess we don't need to rebase the refactor whip. We just need to keep referencing it. Okay, so this is a refactor. Extract cache. Extract. It's like there's a pattern. I don't know if there's a name for it, but the pattern is like look in the cache, make it if it's not in the cache. Name for pattern get from cache or make and cache. It's this, the cache aside pattern. It's a little bit different, but I feel like there should be a name for it. Like, is that memento specific? So, yeah. Okay, it's a read-through cache. So it's like a read through, write through. It's read through, but the data store is just like a computation. Eh, sure. It's a read through cache. Um, anyways, extract read through cache helper from wall texture and walls. Sure, why not? Alright, what's the next diff? So, to make head look like refactor whip, we need to remove if VID's not 0. Oh, okay. Yeah. We moved the check up here. We don't need to do it down here. And so here, we should have removed it already. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna amend the previous commit because I mistakenly didn't remove that other one. Alright. House room, commit, no edit. Okay. So, what's up next? We want a with room GL settings helper. And we're going to grab it from refactor whip. Show refactor whip house room. We're gonna look for what is it? With room GL settings. Look at this lovely function. It's mine now, and it fits on one page. Look at that. It belongs here, I believe. And then this becomes with room GL settings. We don't need any of this. Yeah. Why? Oh, because this is in there too, right? Yeah. We just need to make it look like this. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we need to close the function call. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, this is comparing head to refactor whip. I want to compare the working copy. Yeah. Use the changes you have in your working tree relative to the named commit. Use head to compare it with the latest commit or a branch name. Yep. Oh, that's handy. Auto merge. Uh, house room go to refactor whip. House room go. This is what I want. Is it? I don't think so, because this is saying that near 334, we say need floor right wall, left wall matrices, draw details, and that it needs to get changed out to with room GL settings. But we have changed it out to with room GL settings. Do I need to commit in order to do the diff? I need to diff this diff with the other diff. Yo, dog, I heard you like diffs. That's good enough. Refactor. Extract helper for running with GL settings needed for rendering. Okay, the next diff to look at is this one. I think it's just that apply this diff, really. We add a reset and a set vertex data, and we use it. Oh, this is the set. Yeah, okay. GL IDs. So, vertex data. Yeah, extract that helper. And we can just copy it. Does this test? Yes, I do. Refactor extract helper for setting vertex data buffers on a. That's a good enough message. Let's extract the reset helper now. Right, and then the buffer not equal to 0. Good. Factor extract helper to reset. What was it? Vertex IDs? Texture GLIDs? Yeah. So now this is the only diff. Let's do it not just here, but all the other places too. And then all these if statements need to be like if len of p. We need to invert them and then panic. Rf must not clip out wall texture. The reason this is better is that the state of the system is simpler in that either everything worked or nothing worked, kind of thing. But we'll need to we should defer a reset should we not even a okay, there's a bug right now where if this panics, we're gonna leak things. Okay, we can get rid of refactor whip. It's done. Okay. Why doesn't this format? Huh? Unbalanced braces. Okay, fine. Panic. And then we're resetting you. Where is it upset? 168 and 277. Like for now, that's that. But I do want to if we panic, don't leak GL resources. Prefer recover. How does recover work again? Like if E not nil, then we need to reset each field of the GLIDs, and V buffer might not be set, so just a straight reset ain't gonna cut it. Alright, so I'm gonna make a function helper delete if needed is a func of a uint 32. And then it's going to say gl.buffer. It's going to say this. gl.buffer of whatever buff ID dot delete. If buff ID is 0, return. And then we're actually going to make this a pointer. And then yeah, so delete if needed of the V buffer, the left, right, floor. Can't use a simple dot reset because the V buffer may or may not have been assigned to yet, so we can't trust its flagginess. Is there a cleaner way to do this? You just call delete if needed on each of these things and reset. I think that's the best thing to do, actually. We actually will just call reset. Do the same thing for each buffer, namely, if it's 0, don't worry. If it's not, delete it. Call gl.buffer or glbuffer delete, and then 0 it out. Yeah. Can use the symbol .reset because reset is better now. We'll say. Now, does that keep panicking, or does that... Hold on. Re-panic. Yeah, that's where I wrote it. Who's Dave? Oh, this Dave. Dave's comment is the best what works. Whatever, I don't want to get into the weeds on that. Does this test? It probably should, because we're not really calling much of this stuff in the tests, but that's fine. Logically, it's the same, except better. Let's swallow. Clean. Prefer panic to fail silently. Okay. At this point, we should look at CI. We've got some more things to work on and fix up, but that's always the case. We need to fix CI sooner rather than later. So let's download the test report. Like, they don't look too dissimilar. So, I think yesterday we did some image magic comparison to see that there actually is a difference, and so it just might be a threshold issue. But I'll be right back. make compare these images, helper tool and blob. So, well, it's so that we can more quickly debug CI failures. Let's do that. Alright, so cool. Do we have tools in here? Yeah, we do already. Ping comp. What you do? Okay. Go run tools ping comp on tools ping comp A and tools ping comp B. This has a lot of printing. The max delta was at 161, 147. And it was 6 away. Okay. That's actually pretty helpful. I don't think it calls the helpers that we have in comp test, but like, I don't think it needs to in order to understand what it is that we need to understand to fix the CI. What we need to understand about CI, or fixing CI, is that a threshold of 6 should do it. So I can do... Oops. So there's a bell somewhere, but I think it's taken. It's gone. What I'm gonna do is check out and branch from origin main. A branch called CI fix. And I'm going to try to just green this CI, which is to fix the cobweb rendering test. So, wall texture test, I believe. Yeah. This is like a render test threshold 6. We need 6 or more, right? The default is 3, but this cobweb, it's fuzzy, so let's give it a bigger threshold. If this fixes CI, we will rebase main on top of it. If it doesn't, we will not make it part of main. Yeah, we'll have to force push. I don't like that. I don't want to force push. At Bear, do you have a way to run against a commit instead of tracking a branch? Ooh. And test branch. So like now, if I push to test, fix for CI, bump, image, comparison, threshold for a failing test, or a spurious failure. Right? So now we made a new branch remotely called test. And ooh, it's working. Man, every time I work with AppVeyor, it's just like, it makes me happy. Good job, AppVeyor. Like, it doesn't look sexy, and that's fine. It doesn't need to. It's CI. But my God, is it helpful? And that is sexy. Because now I can just, like, actually get stuff done. Alright. We were working on making wall texture not so barf. Right? We wrote it in our to-do, didn't we? What to do? Try out wall texture render. Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, not render, but setup GL stuff. Okay. So what is this function supposed to do? It's supposed to compute geometry. It's supposed to upload that into buffers. And it's supposed to cache those, or it's supposed to save those buffers. Now the way to do this is to teach Mr. Wall Texture GLIDs how to not have people break encapsulation. while we're here, this is not a uint32. This is a gl.buffer. Like, come on. Well, look, you don't need to cast if you just use the type system. Yeah. Remove done to do and fix to do typo. Clean. Use the type system and improve readability. Nice. Oops. I do that a lot. I like fix something that's tracked as a to-do, but the to-do doesn't get removed. It's annoying. I think if I had a system for where the to-dos live and got in the habit of checking them better, it would be better, but I think that means being more strict about to-do and then giving it a bug number. Tooling aside, let's not worry about. That's a tooling problem, and I'm not working on that right now. We're working on making this not be. Bleh. Okay, so. What's the next thing I want to do? Let's try to dry this out. I don't know why you're dividing by 100. I don't know why you're rotating by minus pi by 2. But that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, so let's get a side-by-side comparison going of like the floor and one of the walls. Open and read only, please. Wall. Maybe this one will look at the floor. And then left wall. Let's use one Vim instance. Okay, so the vertices. Are they? They're the same. Right? Like that's the same. We have to declare the variable. We can move that up to be not part of this visual diff here. Can I diff a file with itself? Like a... Oh look, we bumped it. We greened it. Yay! Okay. Vim. Diff. I mean, I could work around this by making a copy of the file, but what I want to do is diff same file, diff parts of a file against itself. R. Yeah, let's just do that then. Okay, they're not different. But right into temp bar. Yeah, they're the same. Okay. Diff off. What I'm gonna do is say all the way to floor is gone. And then everything past that is also gone. And then not get rid of floor, but get rid of everything above left wall. Oops. Alright, write these two. Diff them. We're gonna need a Baz. Can we do a three-ways diff? We'll deal with Can we do this? Yeah, we can. Okay. So yeah, the comment is different. This declares it, these just assign it. This declares it, this just assigns it. The Y is different for the right wall. Some of the geometry is a little bit different for how we clip. The floor gets clipped 4 times, the wall's only 3 times. Okay. Comment and declaration versus resetting. Okay. A new line. This is just left, floor, 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 left, 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 right, right, right. Like, the copy pasta is strong. I is at 0 times lambda is. Oh, there's a... Is this not the same? No. No, it's not. There's an extra parenthesis around this for some reason. Okay. Oh, I'm like, these don't look different. They're not different. They're different from this. Okay, this is really... We can try this. Okay. The thing to do is... What's that? Let's open up these folds. Alright, so what is this going to be called? This is going to be called compute geometry. We can change the name later. Let us first. Do I want to? I'm thinking, what's the easiest way to do it? Is it to set up a local closure to close over these things? Maybe, but I don't think we need to. Here's the thing. This matrix is going to be the same every time. Isn't it? I mean, let's look. Yeah, it's going to be the same every time, unless these variables change. Like, does WTX, WTY... M changes, but this is really what it's saying is m.set the translation WTX, WTY, and then multiply it in. You could say like run.multiply new matrix translation WTX, WTY, but that's how their API works. So all they're doing is like m.set run star equals m. m.set run star equals m. So m is just a scratch variable. WT.flip like doesn't change. This run matrix. How is it used? It's used to transform the vertices. And then we invert it. It's not a big matrix, um, but why bother re-inverting it every time? Alright, so what does this code do? So we start out with the same vertices. We make a matrix that incorporates the wall texture's XY rotation and scaling. And then we transform all the vertices by that matrix. Which is to say, the verts used to be in model space, now they're in like instance space. Just for like visual help. If we look at wall texture, it's just splat the texture across a quad, right? This is... Why are we... When we call wall texture.render, how does this work? Also, isn't this just data.render advanced? this should be. We need to decide if this was running on the render thread or not, and if that. Whatever. Not the problem we're working on. Like .data. Always returns o.data. Now, load from path returns a pointer to data. Returns this. When we call data, it's gonna returns not nil, pardon me, nil and error, not nil. Okay. So data is nil if and only if the error is not nil. Hey, Baby Yoda. It's going. Working on making the rendering of these wall textures not make my eyes bleed. Easier said than done, and it's not even that hard to say, or easy to say. But yeah, I'm looking at these lines right now, and I'm saying we get a reference to some data object, we grab the dimensions of it, and then we get that object again. Let's not. Let's just not. Let's just not. Don't re-get a field. Am I doing GL from scratch? Kinda. From scratch is like inherit this old project from 12 years ago and tweak it to work. So there's a lot of GL calls already going. And we get all the way to this. Look at that. Beautiful. But this is broken, so yeah. I don't know in what state it was when I picked it up. Like, so long story short, it's yes. If you wanna, I should make like a command for that in the chat. But basically, it's an old Golang project, back before Golang 1.0. You've been learning Go for 2 years, but you like it? Yeah. It's got a lot of nice things. But yeah, this is like very legacy project that got almost released, and then things kind of fell apart, I guess. Like, I don't know the whole story, but I saw it on Reddit and I was like, oh, I can make that work. And here we are. what was it doing? Oh yeah, okay, so that works. If you don't mind my asking, what do you do with Golang? Are you like front-endy or back-endy, or I imagine it's probably back-end services and stuff? It says, oh, so you got money for this back in the day? No, I didn't. So the timeline is Kickstarter goes out, they get funded. Well, actually, they wrote most of the game. Kickstarter goes out, gets funded. They fail. 12 years pass. I see the Reddit post of this random project that I never heard of, and was like, I can do that. So I picked it up. So no, back in the day, I don't know. Like, I don't know the people who did it, apart from seeing them in their Kickstarter video. And it's all open source right now, so I don't, and licensed pretty liberally, so I'm not going to charge money for it. It's just more of a project I can work on to practice TDD and stream something. Yeah. But yeah, what do you do with Golang? Previously, I was using Golang to write kind of microservice-y stuff. But like a lot of microservice projects, I don't think it should have been a microservice. Backend service. So you're working on backend services. You wrote a website for your dad's business. Cool. And a web API for another commercial project. Cool. You want to make a tool in it now without using too many third-party libs. Yeah. Like an e-commerce bot. Yeah. It's a trade-off dependencies, right? Like, depending on what you're doing. Sometimes it's like, oh, just add another dependency. It's fine. Other times it's like, a dependency? Are you mad? But yeah. Oh yeah, I was working on deduping this like copy pasta. So the main crux of this like do GL stuff or setup GL stuff is make some vertices, build the translation matrix, apply the transform, build a transform, apply the transform, build a polygon out of the vertexes that are remaining, clip according to something, I'm not sure exactly what, and then build buffers for the indices and the vertex data, and then upload it to GL. So a lot of this stuff is just copy pasted, and I don't want it copy pasted. I want it. But yeah, you're way younger than me, obviously. Was doing C and C++ for a few years prior, so that's really good. Yeah, I've done a lot of C and C++, a lot more than Go. But yeah, feeling like an old man. But that's okay. So I'm trying to think if I want to refactor this to do to cut down on this duplication. I want to understand what these clips are doing. So if we look at what clip does, it takes a pointer to a segment, and I think it just like removes elements of the geometry that are out of the clip, and it prints stuff. Not way younger, but yeah. You're not 7. That's yeah. You wanted to pick a project that made use of ghosted lib more? 25, yeah. I'm 37? That's how old I am. I can't remember. 37 or 38. Um, so let's look at this without making our eyes bleed. That's hold on. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, oh, they defined A and then B and then B and then A. And then A and then B. Let's see if we can understand this. So this is a point at 0, 0, and 0 to FRDY. FRDY is just the floating point representation of dy. dy is what? The size of the room. Float room dy. Okay. So there's a point from 0, 0 to 0 top of room. So what was the issue with OpenGL bindings originally? My understanding is that they didn't have the tooling to like manage dependencies properly. So if we the way the project is structured is that there's the game Haunts, which is just like a Golang application, which uses a library called glop that they wrote purpose-built for this, and that calls OpenGL bindings. And so the OpenGL bindings was an external dependency, and it was progressing as they were writing things, but they didn't have like Go mod. Like that was not a thing back then. This was like pre 1.0 Go, and so they would patch their local copy of their dependency to like fix bugs or make things work. And you can imagine that that caused a lot of diversion. So like basically their version of OpenGL diverged from upstream, and then every developer they had their own divergences. Now there wasn't a lot of developers, but there was one guy and he was kind of in and out, and then they had an intern, I think, something like that, that tried to pick it up. But like, long story short, they messed up their dependencies, right? And they didn't have the tooling to make it easy to fix. Fast forward to now, and I just kind of picked versions of the upstream dependencies, which are all now abandoned anyways because they're so old, so they're not going to change. And then started working against that and using Go mod to like replace with my own forks, right? So pin some set of the dependencies. I don't know if that's the right set or not, and then fork as needed and use Go mod to have one version of what are my dependencies. Yeah, so we've already gotten past where they thought it was not going to happen, where we've got it building and showing the startup menu, so that's good. Right now, I'm trying to get the what is it called? I'm trying to make it the room editor work. So if I hit Control G, it goes to like an editor tool that they built to like make the rooms of the haunted house. But it's not really showing stuff. The text isn't really showing up. I had a real struggle getting text to show up at all. Like the versus mode here in the play online. Never you mind that the R is too tall and there's artifacts. That we got something. That's much better than nothing. But it's still not quite right. But I'm expecting like kind of an example room to show up here with textures and things, but it's not. So I'm working on that. No vendor folder. Yeah, no vendor folder back then either. It was the Wild West. But we are taming the wild savagery and bringing order to chaos. And struggling to remember what I was doing. You actually worked on a font library for 4 years, so you know a lot about that. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's actually the free type Golang thing. What is it? Like underneath, we use free type bindings. And I didn't have to fork it. I just have to point at like the legacy repo instead of the head repo. I just made all the characters the same size. Exactly. Yep. The way I saw the code, it should have not been all the same size, but it's not working well enough to actually not make them all the same size. Is it an issue with the free type lib or something, or no? It's the generating of the quads. So like the font is pre-rendered to a certain point size into like a grid of glyphs as a texture, and then you just sub-select pieces of the texture to stitch characters together, and then there's like a kerning map to adjust how close to put them. But I think there's a bug in there somewhere about the difference in how big it is in the texture versus how big the quad is that you want to splat it onto or blit it onto. Yeah, you would know all about it. So if you want to fix it, I mean, it's open source. It's on GitHub. The thing you'd want to look at is in glop, GUI dictionary. You can make it suck less. It's just rasterized into the atlas. Forgive me, I'm not a graphics guy or a game programmer or a font guy, but yes. So what is it? So there's this dictionary type, and it kind of stores the info as this. So this like grid of glyphs, right? It's, do I have an example? I think I do. Yeah, they called their Atlas dictionary. Yeah, so basically, offline, you load a free type file, and then you splat or you open a TTF file and use free type to render these glyphs into PNGs, and then you image draw them over top of a canvas to make this. Then you load this as a texture, and you can sub-slice for the different characters, and then blit those onto a texture that then you make a new texture for every string. You'll follow the repo. You guess what you might work on it. Yeah, please. If you want to burn everything with fire, go for it. Cause it ain't. I don't like it. I don't know if I'm just not a gooey guy, and so it is what it should be. But to me, it looks terrible. Patches, PR's welcome. You made this? Ooh. Unicode open type shaping and rendering library. Nice. OTF parser from scratch and has kerning ligatures, etc. Cool. I'll have to take a look at this. Boop. But yeah, anything you want to rewrite or nuke in there, it make me happy. Okay. It works with STB TrueType. I'm not totally familiar with what that is, but yeah. Yeah. Thanks! It'll be really cool to have other people working on this thing too. And if you take a look and you have questions, like, send me a message. Open an issue on the GitHub repo. More than happy to collaborate and bounce ideas. Or give you a tour. But right now I want to understand this clip stuff. So the floor, clip from, and I think all this is in like screen space, so it's like just your Cartesian coordinates. It's like a 2D game, but they use 3D for it because I don't know why. So we go from 0, 0. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to check. If I remember correctly, I made a bunch of changes in this file to add the field name to these like literals, and I was just using my autocompleter to do it. So seeing B and then A scares me. Maybe I should blame it. I hardly ever use blame. But fifth. Oh, yeah. I guess I've changed things recently. I'm trying to think, is there a Git helper for like looking at a certain line and seeing how it changed over time? Like a built-in? I doubt it. It seems too fancy for like raw Git. But what I can do is search for a line that starts with a plus and then has a X colon in it. Actually, what I want to do is look for the change that added this B. So this just looks to be a reformat. Um, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. Still in the same order. And this is in the... Where is this? This is in the floor. Okay. So this is not the change that put the B here. This is a change that just reformatted, it looks like. This is where, oh, I added X and Y, but the B and A was still there. Okay. I think the B and the A makes sense because if you're clipping against a line, you need to know which side of the line to get rid of. Imgur.mp4. What? Imgur has MP4s? Let me see this. I do have Discord. Somewhere. Alright. We'll go here and then get you a link. How do I Discord? But yeah, I hardly ever use Discord. Oh, thanks for the follow, Baby Yoda. I'm caffeine_storm on Discord. Hold on. Discord and Skype mostly? Yeah. Create an invite. There you go. I got a Discord server if you want to join that. It'll be you, me, and Hermie, who's OG on the channel. Haha, Discord. Yeah, you kids and your messaging apps these days, I swear. So this is like your font rendering thing? It's nice that Imgur has MP4s. I didn't realize that. Oh yeah, cool. I'll have to check that out. I'll give your GitHub repo a star. So, I mean, hey, if it works better than what we got, I don't mind migrating. The MP4s from when you were working on the Glyph Atlas generates SDFs. You're having issues, but ended up fixing that. Cool. Cool. This is when we changed some indentation, I think. Oh, it's GoFont. Okay, so I think I've proven to myself that I didn't do the add of these things. Oh, that's this project in a nutshell. But yeah, I'm happy to see that I didn't introduce the BA thing, and because it should matter like which direction these lines are defined in. I wish my formatter, I wish my formatter would more aggressively format this, but I can just fix it for now. The worst part is that it's copy paste, so I'm gonna have to do this 3 freaking times. I don't wanna. Before we worry about formatting, let's worry about what is it doing and how do we factor that into a helper. I think right now that's the issue is probably that there's just random junk going on. I'm really just trying to refactor without changing the behavior of this function so that I can actually read it and understand what it's doing. Because right now it's like it does some stuff and I don't know most of it. So like this wall texture, if you're thinking about the haunted house, right? The house has a bunch of rooms. Each room looks like kind of an isomorphic display of a room, right? So you got like the floor here. Maybe instead of hand waving. So you'll have like a floor here, right? And then you'll have like a wall here and here. So we got floor, we got right wall, we got left wall. And then sometimes there's like doors. Sometimes there's like cobwebs. I'm a great artist, by the way. I'm sure you can tell. But so, as far as yeah, isomorphic, yeah. I think that's what isomorphic means, where it's like it's 2D, but you kind of see like the diamonds. But basically, the wall texture struct is like what is kind of dealing with these things, right? And so you want to be able to stick a cobweb on a wall, kind of wherever you want. And like, why would we load 20,000 instances of the cobweb when we can load one and just paste it around like The Sims? Yeah, exactly. So this wall texture class is about uploading the geometry and textures for these like decals. I want to rename this struct to like a wall decal, but so you gotta basically upload some geometry that defines a thing that you can move around. Instance decals, yeah, exactly. And so yeah. Each of them have like an X, a Y, a rotation, a flip. Oops. Where did I go? They have an X, a Y, a flip, and like to support the editor, you can drag and drop these things. And there's a temporary flag, so it'll like do it grayed out. You can actually just define the decal geometry in the shader itself. Probably. Again, I'm trying to just change what they have without changing its behavior until I better understand it. But yeah, so this is just clipping things out that are outside of the room, I think, right? Because that's the maximum extent of the room. That way you don't even have to upload the geometry, you just make the decal texture and pass it on the next how you want. Yeah, because there's always a quad or some other geometry. Should always be a quad, but I don't know. Certainly these vertices, right? They start out as in the middle of the texture, and then we transform them to where the room is, I think. And then we just do it again for the left wall and the right wall. But yeah, it should always be a quad. It might make more sense to do it all in the shader, but I'm trying to just again understand what it is that they're doing. Making it something that isn't awful is step 2. But yeah, I gotta take a quick break. Be right back. Yeah, I don't want to break anything when don't understand. Yep. Might work on it. Possibly a good way to resume work on my file library and do something to go. Yeah. Not that you don't have projects as well, but yeah. Yeah. The best way to learn, I think, is to jump in and start seeing what you can break and make fix or make work. So yeah. So after we transform these coordinates, we've basically moved it to the room we care about. And then we clip based on the room. So I guess the so left bottom to left top to right top, and right top to right bottom. Why is there a fourth one for the floor? Bottom left to left top. Or did I get one of those background? Or backwards? Yeah, this is... So this is top right to left top. You'll get some coffee? Yeah, good idea. So I think what this is about is like, if you're putting a cobweb on a wall, you don't want it to like show up on the room that's adjacent, right? So like, presumably there's another room here. Here's my drawing. There's another room here. You don't want this kind of thing. Cobwebs can't go through walls. Sure. So this is bottom left to left top to top right, or right top to right bottom to left bottom. Okay. I wish there was comments here about like what it's doing. Like, what does this expect as input, and what does it do? We might be able to look at more up-to-date code and see what the comment is on a polygon clip. MathGL. Okay, do they have a clip? What? What? This is in util.go. Oh yeah, good. This is not the... Marble Games MathGL. Forks from Running Wild MathGL. Oh, they added it. Well, what we can do is say test it. Test polyclipping. Look at this, they have tests. That's not a test. What is that? Like... Ugh. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna look at our what version of MathGL do we use? We use that one. Good clone. Do I already have it? MathGL, yeah I do. Okay. Cool. Now, do we have a Go mod? No. Oh. Can we change this? Yes. Okay. This is all old kind of Golang making with C. Pardon me. Alright, step 1. Can we run the tests? Nope. Now, if I'm gonna fork this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the way I was doing it with the other dependencies. So I referenced the module I want with a replace, like, but I need it to match here, so it's this. I mean, yeah, we can do 123. I don't think it'll hurt anything. Let's do it. Okay. Can we run the tests? Ugh. Okay. Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, do I want all my helpers and stuff in here? This makefile is not what I care about. Yeah. Okay. Let's just see what we can do here. MathGL. Test line 106. We screwed up badly. 2.x, 2.y. Yeah, okay. It's a float. There. Okay, test for passing. Yay! We already fixed a bug. Did I figure more things out? I figured out that the polygon clip code was code that was written by the Haunts project. It's not upstream anywhere. So there's not going to be any documentation anywhere else. So I'm going to use test-driven development to understand what it's doing and yeah. Get ready for the rabbit hole. Yeah. Okay, we fixed their test, but this is not a test. This is just some code that runs. It doesn't check anything. So if p dot after clipping 2.0 to 2.10, we expect anything to the right of x equals 2 to be gone? Question mark? Maybe. We'll find out. So we would expect this to have gotten, I guess not gone, but to be changed. So just for now, if p at 0 not equal to vec2 of 2.0, you shall not pass. When you made that font project, you did a ton of mistakes. Want to get back up to it, but you got to do it while having a real-world, preferably commercial use case for it, because that's how good APIs can be designed. Yeah, doesn't have to just solve the problem, but it should have an elegant, intuitive API, which the project lacks. Yeah, that's a good goal. I would say, you know, all code that you write has mistakes and things you want to change and problems and stuff. It's a balance about what you want to prioritize and what has value for you. Even though it does everything you probably would want from such a library, yeah. Certainly having like users, having a use case is like super helpful for driving what your priorities should be. I don't understand why this is a compiler error. Am I just so tired that I'm not seeing it? But like, oh, the open brace is getting confused for the if. Okay. Okay, so let's print the polygon. What? Okay, so the clipping can add vertices, it looks like. Let- There's a use case, but the problem with my project is feel like an overcomplicated API the way you wrote it. It's not very friendly, it's very basic. Recently ported the project from CMake to Maison with it. Was a step towards the right direction. Yeah. I remember some non-standard compliant code, fractures and parts of the project, got to compile with no stdlib. Ooh, freestanding mode. So it can technically be compiled to WASM. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, if you ever want to look at bad code, just look at the code one writes 6 months ago. Like, there's so much you learn in the process of doing that you never realized you needed. When you make a library without an application to use the benchmark to the library, you end up with code that isn't fit for the real world. For sure, yeah. Yeah. If you don't have a use case or users driving the changes and the decisions, it's hard to come up with something that satisfies the new use case or actual real world that you have to deal with. For sure. Okay, so we started with 3-0. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 0. Yeah, okay. And then let's draw this polygon and draw this polygon. Every time you look at your old code, you think it was horrible? Yeah, yeah, same. Alright, let's use vision. OJS paint, silly thing. Alright, is there a better way to draw this than in paint? Maybe not. I learned a shortcut the other day. Bam! Okay. Windows Shift S. Alright, so 3-0 to 1, 2 to 3, 1, 2, 3. So it looks kind of like this. And then we clip based on 2-0. Let me just write this down. This is bleh. 3. Oh, this is actually kind of more like this. And then this is a 6. This is a 1. This is 0. This is 2. This is 5. So 3-0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 0. Okay. I am on Windows. I'm using Windows Subsystem for Linux to use Linux on Windows. Long story short, my desktop is a Windows machine. I didn't want to dual boot. But God, I don't want to do development on Windows. But yeah. Yeah, Windows Subsystem for Linux has been surprisingly nice. The things I've learned so far on this project is I like Windows Subsystem for Linux, and I like AppFair. If you haven't checked them out, it's like free CI for open source, and it's every time I've tried to do something in it, it's been like straightforward, intuitive, and quick and useful. I've never seen a CI tool that just did what I wanted it to do like this. So yeah, big ups to AppFair. You also use Windows to make it really hard to do development, especially C++. They make it hard to not fully embrace the Windows toolchain and the vendor lock-in. Like, they are so happy to see people using like Win32 APIs and like crazy CLR nonsense. And they go to great lengths to make that the easy, well-lit path. Which has been Microsoft's deal since day one, is make APIs, make it easy for the people to use their APIs but not use other people's APIs, because that's what's going to get things on the platform. Anyways, so now, rant over. Alright, so then at the end of it, we end up with 2, 1 to 2, 3.5. Oh, to 3, 5 to 6, 0 to 3, 0. Okay, okay. X equals 2. Eclipse! It's not even just Win32. I don't mind calling system DLLs. The issue is the vendor lock with VS. I can't compile a C file without at least 20 gigabyte install of VS. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Alright. Okay, so this looks like it's actually clipping right. I just need to write the test correctly. So, it's really, after clipping 20 to 211, we expect anything to the left of x equals 2 to get dropped. There should be no vertex left of x equals 2. So for vert in range P, if vert at 0, vert.x is less than 2, t.fail. What's a vec2? xy, okay. Yay, pass. Okay. And then afterwards, there needs to be 2 vertices on the edge, or at the clip. Do I want to ASCII art this? No, I don't. For now. Okay, so what does this tell us? Going from here to there, it's the relative to the line, it's to the left that gets clipped out. LLVM is like 800 megs as well, which is just ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, There's a lot in it. But I agree. Really ridiculous. Ironically enough, the easiest way to just compile a C file in Windows is to use GNU MinGW. I agree. I agree. The other thing you need, or that I like, is godbolt.org, which is a C++ compiler in the browser. Basically, not just a C++ compiler, but where is it? A bunch of compilers. So all the different versions of GCC. We have whatever this stuff is, like, does it have Turbo C++? What has it been called? Orland? But yeah, anyways, you can compile your code in a bunch of different compilers. You can look at the assembly output of it. You can, compare the output. You can compare the you can compare the output of Clang to the output of GCC. There's a link between like the code that you write and the assembly that it produces. Yeah, Godbolt's really good for optimization. GCC is the same. Yeah. But yeah, it at least saves you from having to download N versions of the 800 meg compiler. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So things that should be in the thing are the 2.3.5 and the 2.1. I'm going to bother to finish this test. I don't think I'm going to bother committing and pushing it or whatever, but I want to do it. And here it's going to be like t.logf bad vertex. On D. And then there needs to be two vertices at the clip, namely vec2, 2, 1, and vec2, 2, 3, 1, 5. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking, do I want to assert on the length? Nah. These need to be in there. Needed is a slice of vec2 with this one and that one for I, vert in range P if needed at 0 is... How do I want to do this? It's really a must to support Windows because ultimately you want users, yeah. So yeah, that's the only reason I switched back to Windows. Linux is definitely better. Yeah, I'm pleased with the kind of trend of it's mattering less and less like where your users are. Like, the web always promised it, and if you're okay with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can. But with like containerization and stuff, it's becoming much easier to put something out that your users, that any user can use. Um, but it also perpetuates the like 800 meg LLVM. Because now when you release a container, you need to release all the binaries that you need. Luckily, storage is cheaper than it used to be. Anyways, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to say, walk this list of things. This is a map of Vectu to Bool. So if needed at vert, needed is delete. I never use this helper. Delete needed vert. And then if when needed not 0, couldn't find expected vertices. Maps.keys. Needed. We're in a weird environment now, yeah. For example, me and my friend are making a commercial program in C++, AI related. Your bin folder is 2.7 gigs. But we have a lean version that's 15 megs. Can't really do much about it, yeah. You have to ship so many DLLs to prevent any misfunction, yeah. Or having the users install that on their system, yeah. It's wild. Can I do that? I can. I can and I did. Okay, and then proper TDD would be like, make sure you see that it fails if it's supposed to fail. Yeah, okay. And then let's just print the map. Yeah, fine. The issue with having them install it themselves is from version to version the API might change. Yeah. Then your program's working. Yeah. DLL hell. Do not want. Okay. So we basically said your test should actually validate something. Awesome. Odd. Readme. Reformat. And drop old install instructions. Actually verify. Oops. I'll add. Talk about MSV CRT or CUDA. Yeah. Yeah, if MSV CRT changes out from underneath you, good luck. I'm not gonna bother pushing it. Should I? If I bother to read it, maybe I should bother to save it. I won't bother referencing it. Get remote. Ports from. Games MathGL at. Let's just include it. Add work base to the okay. Get remote rm origin. Get remote add origin is git at github.com caffeine storm mathgl dot git fetch git push origin git branch dash m main git push origin head is main. There's a way to do this. They added a thing, I think, with UWP that you can create a manifest for your application, specify which version of the DLL you depend on. Such a clusterfuck. Yeah, it is. It really is. I think I have, yeah, repo help. Help. So dash dash source dot. Public. Caffeine storm math GL. Go. Huh? Oh, I don't need a slash. I need a colon. Get remote add origin. This thing, but a colon. Fetch. Ah. Get push origin. Head is main. Ah. Cool. So I've saved it, and now I have an offsite backup, but I'm not going to bother referencing it. I just wanted to figure out what to expect with clipping. So now we do know what to expect with clipping. We got a line from 0, 0 to 0 top of room, and everything to the left of that is gone. And then we've got left top to right top, everything above that is gone. Then we've got top right to bottom right, and everything to the right of that is gone. And then bottom right to bottom left, and everything below that is gone. Yeah. And then here, the clips are room. Doesn't bother clipping anything below the room. And is this not backwards? Anyways.
It's 4 a.m. I took you home. Drunk as hell and I wanna bone. Shirt off, bra off, what you gonna do? Better move quick before I puke. If you can't perform, I'll go back to the club. Don't waste my time when I wanna fuck. Screw me at night and screw me in the morning. I'm a sex addict like me, so horny. Lick me up and lick me down. Show a good girl.
Yeah, sometimes that music gets a little dirty. Just so you know. Wood clipping something completely off of the room end up with an empty slice? I don't know. Let's add a test. So g.run clip left, clip off left extent. I'm gonna need to dupe it here.
That's my belly button, genius.
It's just a slice of neck 2. My brain is broke. Var P is a polygon. We're gonna, well, we can't shadow it yet. Var PP copy, little c copy to PP from P. I'm just trying to cheat. That's the easier cheat. Alright, P is a polygon and copy to P from PP. Oh, I don't even know anymore. Oh, we don't have this capacity for it. Make a poly of size len maybe. I don't know if that's... I'm a little sick today, so I'm struggling, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is barf-tastic. But at least we're working on a copy instead of the actual thing. Refactor test to work a copy of example polygon, and then t.run. Clip the whole thing. P is make a polygon length of PP. Copy to P from PP. PP clip. No, P clip. What is it even as a that, but from, you know, -10 to -10. Clip, -10. Sorry, I just want to make a note of a case that I don't know if what will happen. This should be +10. Clip 10, 1 to 10, 2. Yeah. So this should just clip everything. If len p not 0, t fatal. Should have clipped out all geometry, but was left with this. And then I want to see it fail first. Yeah. Good. Test the clipping everything. Leaves an empty slice. And then I want to see what happens when we clip like a subsection of it. So not 10, 0, but 10, 1 to 10, 2. And then just always fail. Whoops. Not a commit. No changes. Cool. Go test it. Clipped everything. What happens when you clip? I'm gonna break it eventually. Like, that's not a defined line segment. Right? Right? Clip all the things. I don't know. By the way. If you don't run clip the whole thing, but only a fraction of its height. clip the whole thing, but only cover a fraction of its height. Is there a more succinct way to say that? I don't know. Clip. Oh. Clip against a malformed line. I don't want that in the API. Like, I want it to be undefined, so we don't actually write a test about it. Edge case test. Okay. So back to haunts. So the floor gets clipped to the size of the room. That makes sense. Yeah, it's excluding geometry that doesn't intersect with clip rectangle. Yeah, it actually it doesn't just remove the whole polygon. It actually rewrites the polygon to only cover the not clipped out portion. So sorry, that's the music getting that. No, not me. So when we clip off the left extent, we're actually left with that, like, the red thinger. We're left with a polygon that looks like this. But I mean, like, if I said, here's my clip line, and clipped everything to the left, yeah, it'll clip everything. Yeah. So, I guess the way to think about it, right, is like this, in the context of, we're trying to draw a cobweb on a wall, right? If the wall ends here, we don't want to draw the cobweb into the next room. But we do want to draw this, part of the cobweb. But yeah. So the floor... Why is it... So here's a question. Wasn't this just the cobweb? Why do we have geometry for the whole floor? We have a floor buffer. So when we go to render the walls, we say for each wall texture, stencil things out. Oh, I need to not panic back here. The decals are actually pretty complex. There's any footage of the game that would probably help in this. Yeah. The only footage we have is actually let's see here. I forget if I have a quick way to get there. The Kickstarter had a thinger. Let me turn down desktop audio before I blow out your eardrums. Yeah. Ooh. Anyways. Okay. Maybe it'll look like that. um, but yeah. Don't really have a lot of uh, reference footage for like what it should look like beyond bits and pieces like this. And oh look, this is that a bug? Anyways, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call it here though. My head is killing me. Um, but before I go, I'm going to make sure to uh, write down a fact. We actually shouldn't panic here. We actually shouldn't panic here. Clipping the whole thing out should be fine. This is fine. Everything is fine. But yeah, you need like in-game footage. Yeah, you actually stop putting your private projects on GitHub because they're training LLMs with the copyrighted code. Yeah, and also it's not really private. Yeah. Oh no, this is certainly not private. Like part of the reason I can work on this project is that even at the start, the Haunts team wanted to make it open source, but then like they got so far. Oh yeah, here's a good example of what it should look like. But like they were always planning on open sourcing and making it publicly available. Yeah, for open source projects, it's whatever. Yeah, it's kind of the default for better or for worse. My soul died a little bit when Microsoft bought GitHub, but yeah, right now my head is kind of hurting, so I'm gonna have to call it here. Thanks so much for watching, and before I head out, let's see if we can find someone to raid. I usually raid someone in software and game dev.
Done that conversion multiple
Whoa.
times. Because I load the tile.
Loud. Who do we want to raid?
Right. So base event is loaded.
All right, see you later, baby Yoda. Thanks again for the follow. You have a friend that might also be interested in this? Yeah, cool. Feel free to share it, and PR is always welcome. I'm losing steam on my let's raid somebody push. But yeah, if you're looking for more content, go check out software and game development. Cool things are happening. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and see you again next time.